with the TNT Championship match. That was a hidden gem I wasn't expecting.
Oh,
That match was good.
You
And I
said you were
had no
looking forward to
idea how quick
Miro versus Eddie
Miro.
Kingston. You said you were looking forward to that match, Prince.
Yes. I had no idea how fast Miro and Eddie Kingston were. As big as they are incredibly quick. And even though the match started to slow down, it made sense because it was like it went on for a good bit. So you can tell they were starting to get tired, but they kept it up. And you can tell that Miro was the dominant heel. And also Eddie Kingston was the underdog. And people were rooting for him. So they did a good job with that dynamic. Like when people say the heel and face dynamic don't work, that's how it works well. If you want somebody to cheer for someone, that's psychology right there for the audience. If you want people to cheer for Eddie Kingston, make Miro a dominant heel. That's what they did. And it was a good match. Even though Miro won, I was still happy with the results because it still made people want to root for Eddie.
And it made sense the way he won. I was confused a bit, though, because I don't follow it as deeply as the both of y'all did, so I didn't know if Miro was the hero or the villain. But towards the end, once he kicked him with that low blow, I was like, oh, okay, so he's the villain. Then the match was basically over after that. But
yeah, he came in a heel. When he came to AEW, he came in a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the best way to do it. If you want to do proper psychology, and even though, and I'm just going to bring it up as an example, even though people had mixed feelings about Becky, and yes, the execution was poorly done, I get why they did it. And it was good psychology for people to root for Bianca. That's a good example for psychology for the audience right there. That's what they did here. And I enjoyed the match all the way through. Miro was a brute. Eddie Kingston definitely treated himself like an underdog. It was done so good. Yeah. I enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed it.
I think that's going to be one of those sleepers where, like, people are at least going to look at, the very, very big match, which we'll get to later. But, yeah, this is going to be a sleeper because from bell to bell, it was hard hitting. It was physical. And there was really nothing that really missed here for me. It did slow down. But to me, it only slowed down because Eddie Kingston was getting dominated so bad it had no point but to slow down. Because Miro,
plus he was getting punched in the head a lot, so you can tell he had to slow down eventually. He couldn't be Superman getting punched in the head like that by Miro. So I mean, I like that match, and I mean, if you want to get what letter grade would you guys give that match?
I thought that was a solid. B, man. Solid B, I say.
I'd agree with that. Solid B on that. It didn't blow the roof off. It didn't blow the roof off like it. But at the same time, it was so good and it was just solid in every way. Giving it a C don't even feel right. It's like because it was so well done. So I agree with Ralph. Solid B.
I give it a B plus actually, because the psychology was done really well. It actually wanted fans to root for Eddie Kingston. Miro looked like a brute. It had consistent pacing all the way through until the end, but the pacing made sense. I liked it. I think it's a B plus.
How'd y'all feel about what happened on Twitter later between was it Rusev said something about he did something to the man's balls, and Lana said, I'm gonna do something to your balls when you get home.
That was on his shirt. That was on Eddie Kingston's shirt. So and then CJ kind of made a response. His wife made a response on Twitter.
That was hilarious, man. CJ Perry's hilarious for that.
I meant to ask you this because you've been one of the biggest critics of Rebby Sky for doing something similar. What's the difference between CJ Perry basically saying, I'm going to take care of your nuts when you get home, or Rebby Sky saying, swanton that pussy? Like, what's the difference between the two?
The thing is, I don't really care what Rebby says about her husband on the air, but when Rebby has a tendency to gaslight, that's why I don't like her. And her fans are just as insane. So she kind of allows chaos to happen around her and chaos to like spread further. And she starts a lot of crap when she don't need to start nothing. When it's got nothing to do with her, she makes a response that's outright rude and outlandish when it has shit to do with her. That's why I'm not a big fan of Rebby, because she gaslights and she spreads all that stuff around and makes it worse. But when CJ's saying it, she's saying it directly to her husband. She ain't trying to spread nothing else. But Rebby stopped trying to start shit. That's why I don't like her.
Yeah, usually when CJ makes a reference to that, she's literally talking about she's talking about Miro. She's not talking about anybody else. She's not putting it on blast just completely.
What I mean to ask is there an art to female wrestlers expressing their love for the dick over Twitter? Is there an art
I
to
don't
it?
really know, man. I don't think I can answer that.
Because I mean, like we said, Rebby Sky does it, and it's like, what the fuck
Well,
is going on with this?
I guess if you do it in you do it in a way that's
She
not.
does it to start stuff. She does it to start things. She does it to start controversy. Like having her baby breastfeeding her child in a family picture was weird. It was really weird, but she did that on purpose to start stuff, to start controversy. And y'all know what happened to me when I responded, and her fans kind of went nuts, and then went nuts on the rail. So she was doing that on purpose. Because let's be honest, Rebby pretty much made her own name out of her husband's name, and she needs something to do. So I'm not really a big fan of Rebby. I will never be a big fan of Rebby because all she does is just make things worse. She spreads fires. All that was done strategically on purpose. But anyway, I guess we need to talk about the next match because I really don't want to talk about Rebby the whole time.
Very, very solid. Very, 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 very solid.